I'm going to do some just drawing, just to have fun. And this time I'm not going to do what I did last time, which is I kind of ruined the drawing by failing to put everything on its own layer. Kind of upset me. All right. Let's get started. And I want this bigger. Drawing too small. It's easier to draw if your gestures are looser and you're bigger. And midway between these 2 points, between that point and that point, that is where your nose line usually goes. Midway between here and here, where the gap in your lip goes. And halfway here is your pupil. The more symmetrical a person's face is, the more attractive they are to look at. But also, if they're too perfectly symmetric, they actually creep us out. Now, your ears are going to go from the top of the pupil line down to the bottom of the nose line. That's an alignment there. Okay, so that is your basic guide we can use to work from. And the neck, if it's a female neck, it's going to curve inward like that. Women's necks are actually much more slender than men's. There's less musculariness to it. Less muscles, I should say. Just go for that. Now, men, on the other hand, if you're drawing a man, this actually kind of comes in like that. But we're not going to draw a man today. Our men can sit down and be quiet. Today, anyway. So, yeah. I can actually make a mess. That's what we can do. There we go. That's much better. All right. Eyebrows, of course, here to here. Generally speaking, those are good, comfortable guidelines. And you can already kind of see. And the shape of the hairline starts usually here and runs like there. And this is where the hairline splits. Now we've got a good, solid guide. I'm going to lock it in place so I don't mess with it. I don't want to erase it. I don't want to move it. I don't want to do anything to it. No, not what I meant. There we go. Ah, there's my lock button. Yeah, so that's locked in place. So that gives me a place to start actually drawing in the features. What I'm going to do is come over here and grab a color that I like. Something kind of fleshy. I'll start filling in the details. Of the face. But having those guidelines tells me where I need to put things roughly. So it helps to start with those. Hmm? Sailor Fuku song is playing, then suddenly the really sad Minecraft music. That would be weird. That would be weird. Your brain would be like, huh? These are just my guidelines for where everything should fall. Again, we're building this in stages. So, I do so sometimes, actually. Not as often as I used to. you had me muted. It's okay. No love for the mistress. That's all right. I get it, Metsy. I do. Yeah. No, that's for damn sure. Ruby just said it's okay because he doesn't listen to me either. It's true. True facts. The longer you're married, the less you listen to each other. Maybe because you've already heard each other's bull crap. Oh my goodness. I'm being terrible. How long have you and your husband been married, Metsy? Being a terrible influence on the kids. Terrible. $15 this June. Congratulations. We, Ubi and I, have been married 26 years as of December 13th. And I must say that it has been a really good experience overall. Hard times, yes, but many good times too. Yeah. That was one comedian's joke. Actually, Jeff Dunham specifically. And see, there we go. Now that's without the guidelines. See, we started with these crude guidelines, okay, built over the top of them. And that's what it's like without the guidelines. You can already kind of see the shape of the face taking in, some of the shadows developing, and we can get a feel for where we need to put our hairline and our eyebrows. Looking good. But I will do the hair on a separate layer because you can get some cool effects going that way. We're going to lock the face layer for the moment. There's my lock button. Flip over here and start working on the hair. That was my mistake last time. Didn't work out as well as I wanted. All right, we are going to do... This time we're going to move, because it's a hair, we're going to move to a brush. And I kind of want like an oil brush. Pastel. Yeah. Classic charcoal wet blender. Real oil is good. Change color. I don't want it to be flesh colored. I do want her to have a hair color of her own. Come up here, pick through. Come into here. Yeah, we'll do that. Gonna take this brush size down a little bit. Do still want some fine control on it. I just don't want a massive amount. There we go. No. Let's decide what our hair is doing before we do this. What do I want her hairstyle to be? Yes, thank you. As far as congratulations go. Sometimes, marriage it ain't easy. It's one of the more challenging things you'll ever do with your life. Marry. Staying married isn't easy. Getting married is easy. Staying married, not so much. Staying married is a challenge. Well, that's true. If your name is Richard Kalan, you can count on marriage not being easy. Yeah, getting married, I should say. You're right. Thank you. The wanting to get married, that part's easy for them. Actually getting there, not so much. Everything gets in their way. Everybody's always wanting them to marry somebody else. Kind of stink. Yeah, exactly. She sings everywhere she goes. La 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 la. Yeah. Well, right now, this hair looks not at all realistic, but I promise you, friends, that when we start blending, it'll shape up. Actually, I am thinking. I need to go back and undo that. Let's take this. And let's give her. Maybe she's going somewhere. Kind of gonna have this thing at the back here. Kind of look like a half swept up do. Half up, half down. Alright. So now you can kind of see what her hairstyle is like. And that's without the face behind it. So we'll start working on blending out. And I just want to keep the face in view, but I don't want to touch it. I'm still going to keep it locked. Let's grow the brush size a little because I do want to smudge it slightly more than it is right now. Yeah. And always go back in and add more of the ink, or not with the ink, but the oil to it later. We feel like it's getting too grayed out. Yeah, I think we're going to need more oil, definitely. All right, now back to smudging. Yeah, definitely picking up more of the oil. I guess I need to put that in a crease too. It's like, give it that shape. There we go, smudge. Now we're back to being ready. Yeah, that's much better. A lot of the work of bringing a drawing to life is in the shading and the way you work the paint around the canvas. Once you've got the concept set up where you've got the outlines where you want them, then you just sort of let the medium take over and you just work with it to get it where you want it to go. Oils are a very forgiving medium if you work with real oils. Now, everything is forgiving in Photoshop, but in real life, if you were to make a mistake in watercolor, for instance, well, you're just going to be stuck with it. That's all there is to it. Once you've laid oil down, or once you've laid watercolors down, they aren't going anywhere. Nice thing about oil is when you work with oils, you can actually move them literally. It takes about, this is a true fact, it takes about 500 years for oils to become permanently set. Now, they can be set to the point where you can sell them in about 2 weeks to a month, but it's years of work to get oils to dry. It's one of the reasons that's one of the things they do when they're authenticating a piece is they look at how much drying has taken place and to try and gauge whether it's really as old as people say it is or not. And some of the older masters, one of the techniques they would use to get some of the brilliant colors they did was they would actually crush gemstones and mix it with linseed oil. It's not a very good health practice for you because gemstones have a lot of silicone and that gets into your lungs and does nasty stuff to your body. But it's one of the reasons their paints were so brilliant and so vibrant was they were actually using real gemstones, which of course was kind of expensive, but that is the kind of work you can do when you're a master. And it's one of the reasons why they had to have really good patrons to be able to afford all the materials and supplies. We are such a privileged lot in this digital age where cost of our art supplies is so diminished compared to what it once was. Let's see if I take away the guide layer. Yeah, we're doing good. I'm liking how the hair is shaping up for sure. Just get that feel to it of being genuine. I may need to put some more black down, but definitely liking how it looks. Even now, build it up. More layers, more layers. And yeah, when you're working with oils, layers are a huge thing. Just work in layers. I'm liking that a lot. Glad I put it on its own layer, because this way, if something else messes up, I can delete that something else and still have my fabulous hair. Fabulous! Yes, working in layers is a great thing indeed. Just gives you so much more flexibility. You don't have to ruin everything if you ruin one part of it. I've always hated that. Oh, yeah. This is just coming along beautifully. I must say, this is one of the best purchases we've made. This drawing tablet that I'm using was $260 on Amazon, but it has the digital screen so I can see what I'm working on the computer on the actual tablet, which reduces the amount of hand-eye coordination skill you have to learn to be able to use it effectively. And the results, once I've figured out some of the things, like I had to learn how why to use the glove is basically because um, a lot of times what I do is balance my hand on the paper, and I couldn't figure out why things weren't coming out the same on the tablet that they would on paper. And that was one of the reasons why I wasn't giving myself that ability because I was afraid to touch the screen. The glove sort of remedies that problem. And as you can see, the flexibility of it is massively useful. Look at that. Got some beautiful curls. There we go. That's what every girl wants. Well, maybe not every girl. Bless you, Sir Sneeze a lot. He is. He's terribly miserable. His allergies have kicked his hind end. It is a terrible thing. And even allergy medicine hasn't really touched it. We'll have to work on that. I'm not super satisfied with those curls, but we'll come back and touch over those later. I am, however, this top hair is just coming out gorgeous. Really doing well. And everybody's thinking, what's that hot mess going on in the back? Well, that is where the rest of her hair has lived. It's got kind of that messy bun type thing. Messy bun, for when you can't be bothered to put up a real bun. Ha ha ha. So popular. needs more brush. Just gonna give it a little more flavor, a little more pop. Yeah. Definitely better. Much improved. Yeah. All right. So let's fix those eyebrows right there. We don't want those messed up. I think, as far as hair goes, I am satisfied for the moment with the top. Huh. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Hey, Metsy, I will say your name. I don't want anybody to feel left out or that their redeem was wasted. No, I don't. Unfortunately. That's why I need the help of my faithful moderator, Ubi. Baby, I love you. That's right. Well, I do love my streamers, my fellow streamers, my visitors, my peeps that hang out with me. True. Y'all make me feel special. Short yellow bus and everything. I know. Terrible joke in these days. I'll get fired for that someday. All right, that's the joy of being eccentric. You get to make terrible jokes. Oh, wait, I forgot. You're crazy if you're below $1 million in bank account. You're eccentric if you have more. See, there's no crazy millionaire heiresses. There's only eccentric millionaire heiresses. Everybody else may be crazy, but when you have the right amount of money, you're never crazy. You're eccentric. I may be crazy now, but I do have goals of becoming eccentric. What? Oh, oopsie. Yeah, Ubi's over there trying to kill himself in Minecraft. There we go. That's good. Now we're going to turn her hair off and we're going to work on the rest of her. Unlock that. Come up here and lock this. Oops. Lock it away. I want it to be touched. We can keep it up there, but for now it's just a distraction, so I will smudge my way to happiness with this. Yeah. Sometimes you have to really grab that pigment and push it around the paper. It doesn't really necessarily want to come of its own accord, so you have to drag it along. See, one of the things you learn in art school is that nature doesn't do hard lines. So every hard line you have, you need to soften it and blend it to make it look more natural. It look like it belongs there. That's how it's supposed to be. Otherwise, you get that cartoony effect where there's hard outlines and silhouettes. And if you like that, it's fine to do that. But know that that's why it looks the way it does. Like, no matter how great your art is, there will always be a cartoon element to it if the hard lines are left in. All lines need to be softened and blended in. That's probably true. Doo, 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 doo. You. And when I'm blending, I try to follow the contours of the face so that it looks natural, not forced. Hey, that's already looking a lot better. Not perfect yet, but a lot better. Now, the nice thing about a digital drawing is if you look at it and you notice that one side turned out better than the other side as far as the face goes, you split it down the middle and you flip it, and voila, problem solved. You now have a perfectly symmetrical figure. So, that is the advantage of digital over analog art. About a million different ways to fix problems you create. Sometimes in analog, the only way to fix it is just to start over from scratch, which is great for your practice. I mean, you're getting a lot more practice than somebody who uses the digital method of fixing things. But when you're looking for results, not practice, it's hard to beat digital. Draw more of that pigment out. Get it going in the corners there. And there we go. Starting to get in there. Starting to get that blending going that I wanted. Without the blending, the drawing never really takes off. Never really picks up that feel of being real. Shading is ultimately what makes or breaks a drawing. It's funny that in our society, throwing shade at somebody is considered a bad thing. But truth is, we all need shadow to make us stand out, actually. Shadows are what help you distinguish different things. Like if everything's in shadow, nothing has shape. If everything's in light, nothing looks defined. Everything looks kind of the same. So, sort of this balance between, there we go. That's much better. That's a nose we can live with. Shadows help you figure out where things end and where they begin. It's like when you're taking art classes, they teach you about a thing called negative space. And negative space is the area of the canvas where nothing's going on. It's just quiet. There's no art, there's no action, there's nothing to look at. It's just empty. And the reason it's important to pay attention to how much negative space you have on a canvas is that without that negative space, everything blends in together and sort of overwhelms the eyes. You can't figure out what's happening in the drawing. Whereas negative space gives you the ability to pick out the different elements that are in the canvas and to pay attention to those and to give them their proper due. And I realize that's the same thing that happens in life, actually. One of the reasons that our lives start to feel like they're just one big collective blend of things is that we don't give ourselves enough negative space, not enough time resting, not enough time spent doing nothing, just existing. And so everything starts to blend together. We're too busy being active to actually live the life we live, to appreciate the various elements of it. So give yourself some negative space every now and then. Give yourself some time to just be, exist. I'm really bad about that. Really bad. You can ask my husband. I was put on rest for 2 days and was about to drive him insane because I just have trouble with resting. But that rest is essential to your life. Being still, being just in the moment, not doing anything, not needing anything, just taking it in is what creates flavor, gives life its definitive properties. Art has a lot of lessons to teach us if we take the time to learn them. There's a lot of value to developing your skills in art. You learn about perspective, about the fact that just because it's everything you can see doesn't mean it's everything that there is to be seen. Objects don't always, aren't always, what you see isn't always an accurate representation of what the object really looks like. Um, it's only a portion that you're seeing. And it's important to remember that. And people, your perspective on issues is always shaped and formed by the limitations of your view. What you don't know could change the way you see things completely if you saw it from somebody else's perspective. I'm going to switch to a bigger stroke now. I want more blending to happen, and it's not quite happening at the rate that I would like. Yeah, let's do that. Softer. Definitely softer. That's better. Yeah, that looks great, actually. Few things I want to do, few touches I want to add, but I'm actually really overall quite happy with how this is turning out. So one of the things I'm going to do is give a space um, for the eyes. So I'm going to kind of zoom in here so I can be more specific about how I deal with those. All right, let's drop our brush size down considerably. Come on, tap back, thank you. Let's get back to our brush tool. We're going to change colors for a moment. Let's see. Get rid of those light green eyes. And even though not all of this is going to be seen, so. Oh, well, I take it back. We'll have to do more work. And just based on where her, oops, yeah, let's maintain the same size. And now we're going to go ahead and go back to our color. We'll go here and we'll go a little bit lighter. Hey, Metzi. Cool. Well, I hope things go well for your meeting. Thank you for stopping by and joining us in our artistic adventures. Totally love having you on stream. Very much appreciate your presence. Have an assessment for Joseph. Yeah, the extra help with help will help you. I hope so. You guys need some help. You guys are good people. I'm also going to add some gold in there. Like gold flecks. Pain. Yeah. Alright. So let's close out of the skin. Actually, we want to lock that so we don't mess with it. Turn that off, turn that off. Work on this. We're going to drop our blending tool way down because this is a much smaller area. Yeah. I get it. Oh, I locked the wrong thing. Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay, never mind. So, yeah, this should be locked. And this we will work on with our blending tool. Let's go ahead and blend these. Create kind of a starburst pattern. Make sure we don't step too far outside the eyes. Maybe a little bit more. So if you look at a person's eyes, you'll notice that they often have these striated patterns. It's really kind of cool the way the eyeball looks. I kind of wanted that to be reflected in the portrait. Let's take a look at that without the skin over the top. Oh yeah, that's nice. There we go. And it just means we need to put more pigment now that we've got those eyes pretty well settled where I want them. I'll lock that layer, unlock this one, and add more pigment over the top. So that it doesn't show the, oops, wrong color. Let's give me my color picker. There. Add more pigment in this area. So it covers over that top. And come to the smudge. There is something I need to add on here that I have not. Eyelashes. It's the little things sometimes. The little things that matter. See, maybe I need the eraser for that. Yeah. Okay. Now we can smudge to cover that up. Much better. Much, much better. All right. Time for some lashes. Some, you don't want to overdo it, but definitely give it there a little bit of definition. And then a lot of smudging to make it look more in alignment with what somebody would really look like. You zoom out just a little bit. Go back to our smudge tool. You zoom in. Don't want to do a whole lot of smudging. Just enough to take the edge off. Oh, let's see what everything looks like. All right. So we're going to lock that layer. We're going to unlock this layer and play some more with our hair. Get those fine details nabbed down. I'm going to erase that line. Drop that down, much smaller, so I can erase finer details. Yep. Good deal. Blend these lines in so they look natural. Erase that little line because I definitely don't want that. Go. There we go. And then come to our smudge. I'm gonna do some more of that. Just bringing it down. Oop, don't want to erase. Definitely want smudge. I want to really pull that paint in there. Hard on that. Give it that hair-like texture. Make it look like it's real curls. Soften those lines. Pull that up. There we go. Pull it up. Pull up that paint. There we go. Upsy daisy. All right, so let's take a look. Let's fit on the screen and see what we think. Ah, yes. I like it. I'm going to officially call that done. Thank you guys for joining me on today's art stream. I totally appreciate you being with me. And I will be back here tomorrow from 10 until I feel like quitting, playing some Worm. So if you like Worm, if you like adventuring, you can join me. And thanks for watching and have a great day.